I just play with all the kids. Where's Garrett? Where's Garrett?
No one knows.
Hey! It is your boy, Big Daddy Stones, Chief Hitting Bull himself, Todifer, and I think making his actual full debut, because he's been on the phone, we're in the studio, we've heard him audio. We have Captain Matt.
Going on.
Welcome, Cap.
Thank you for actually having me.
And Garrett had some prior obligations, so the captain himself hopped on his ship, caught the wind in his sail, and he zoomed right over to
I yeeted all the way here.
Wrestle Fandom studio that we have going currently at the moment. Matt, we can contribute to me getting back into wrestling about, I would say, like 10, 11 years ago. Logan was like 3 or 4. Matt's like, I'm getting the Rumble. I'm like, all right, you sold me. Let's watch it. And then the following year, at Matt's wedding, Matt was the one whose wedding the Roman Reigns story happened.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So Matt is actually an eyewitness and can vouch and say that Roman Reigns threatened to kill me. And then Jimmy Uso and R-Truth, we're going to back him up. And the TMZ story is, in fact, a big, fat, whopping lie.
The tribal truth was not happy with you that night.
No, but you know what? It's been a decade now. You've been married 10 years now, Matt?
Yep.
So it's been a decade. It's been a decade. If OTC himself wants to give up our blood feud and this beef that's been ongoing between me and him now for 10 long years, I know it's kept him up very much so at nighttime. He's thought about it a lot. I'm willing to bury the hatchet, guys. And if Joe to Joe, he's willing to shake it, I am willing to say there's only one tribal chief, the OTC himself, the original, the only tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Okay?
If he ever does like a Comic-Con or something, I want you to go. I will pay for your ticket to talk to him and be like, do you remember threatening to kill me like 10 years ago? Because if he looks at you and it's like, yeah, I do, like, I'd fucking shit myself.
So we need to take this clip and make it like go viral, so then Roman actually responds, and then somehow we get super famous.
You would have to probably retell the whole story, so then it wasn't just, hey, Roman threatened to kill me. He'd probably sit there and there's a few people.
Well, I could clip it. I know I've said it on here, but at real brief at Matt's wedding, WWE was in town. OTC himself, Jimmy, and the king of the 24/7 champ, R-Truth, were at the bar as we were leaving. I approached Roman, and I came up like, hey, sorry to bother you, but my best friend and his wife just got married, and they're big fans. Would you be willing to take a picture with them? And he looks at me, and he goes, get your fucking hand off of me and get the fuck away from me. And as he says this, Jimmy Uso and R-Truth both stand up. And I'm like, whoa. I ain't got no beef, man. I just saw you go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar before Seth Rollins committed the greatest fucking thievery in all the fucking land. And
well, the best part was my wife goes up to him after, not knowing that all this happened, and asks for a picture. And he goes, well, I already said no to him, but I can't say no to you. So then he gave us a picture. So,
and then TMZ picked up the story and made it sound like they heard a wedding going on, crashed it, and partied with us.
Oh yeah.
Did you? I just random question, but did you actually like? I would have reached out to DMZ and been like, "I was the motherfucker. Like, this is how it went down."
Well, there
No,
was some. Yeah, just leave it. I wouldn't say anything. Well, I'll tell you about it off camera. But so there's been a lot of news going on lately, and we'll talk about some of that at the end of the show. But I want to kick off the show with two big things, and one of them is going to be jumping the shark a little bit. But the first one is tomorrow, guys. Do we all know what tomorrow is?
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Do we know what comes out Wednesday on Netflix?
Oh,
Vince
is that the
McMahon
Vince
special.
story?
The documentary comes out, and one of the articles I just read prior to the show airing that Vince tried to buy it from Netflix so it wouldn't air.
Yep, that sounds like there's some shit in it.
Yeah. And my other thing I wanted to say, which I would say is jumping the gun, would be this. Ooh! I've been waiting for it, baby. I've been waiting for it for how long? Yeet! Are you feeling Usooooo?
It's
Our
nice
man-
because they did it on Raw. It wasn't some bullshit. It wasn't some like, oh, it was a no contest, so now you're gonna do it at the Bad Blood pay-per-view, blah blah. Like, and that's what I was talking to my girlfriend about before we did the show. Is like, it's what I loved about the '90s and the Attitude Era is major title changes would happen on Raw. You know, like major ones, like world champion shit. Like it wasn't just the pay-per-view, you know, that they did it at. So it's nice to see it, not often, but occasionally sprinkled in there to actually have like a major title change, like in just a regular show.
Like the last time I truly can remember them doing that is one of the AJ Styles title runs. Like he won it at like a house show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that always stands out to me is Mankind, because when Bischoff announced it, you know,
and fucked himself by doing it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to tell you the biggest underdog in all of wrestling is going to win this title, and you're not going to watch it.
Right.
No, we all turned it on.
Yeah, dude, that was a thing. Like,
and so kind of tying into that, I was made aware of a young man named Brock Reckensteiner.
What?
Okay.
That sounds so made up.
Well, Reckensteiner is the Steiner brothers' actual last name.
Oh, okay.
They're Reckensteiner, whatever it is.
So
and I was made aware of this young gentleman. And I am going to show you this man. There he is. There's Scotty, Big Papa Pump's son, plays for Jacksonville State.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, he is number 89. 142 yards in 17 games. He's like what was it? He just, like the last game he played, he scored an 85-yard touchdown. Absolute beast. But he's a big boy. And my question to you guys, Lee, before we start talking about everything that happened, do we possibly have a chance at, even though they're not brothers, the Steiners 2.0?
Why not? If a sports career doesn't take off, why not?
Like, there's potential there for a new version of. I know people either loved, couldn't stand the Steiners. Todd, by the look on your face, it looked like you were in one of the latter party.
No, it's just sometimes things don't need to be redone. Sometimes people did them perfectly the first time, whether it's something like this, a movie, a song, whatever. Sometimes shit just needs to be left alone. You know,
I tell you what, they're one of the
legacy character.
They're one of the more underrated tag teams of all time, the Steiner brothers, especially when they were younger.
Oh, yeah.
They had some great matches.
But like, I'm such a sucker for a legacy, like character, brand, whatever. Like that's why part of the reason why I've dug this whole bloodline thing, because it's it's taking bits and pieces of all the wrestling we've known, we've watched, we've grown up with, and like something that we've been aware of with the familial connection. And like you had like the Usos, like in the last couple decades, they've started acknowledging it more. Get what I did there? Acknowledging. Acknowledge me, Matt. But it creates that history. It creates that cohesiveness, and it's like that long-term storytelling. And just think about, like, say Bloodline, whatever their reconfiguration is, and like they're heel again and whatever. But who to stop them? Wow, the Steiner brothers' offspring. Because they were good guys up until fucking Scotty joined the NWO.
Yeah.
The Steiner's offsprings, the underdogs of the underdogs, are coming.
How about we get the Steiner brothers with Goldberg's son?
Right. Look at that. See, Matt's thinking. I like the legacy shit, but let us go on. SmackDown. We ready? Do you have it, Todd?
Yeah.
All right. So you go to SmackDown. I'll do Raw. Matt, you do everything in between.
So do you like the format of SmackDown now? I mean, it's about 4 matches they give you. By the time the episode's over.
I didn't know. I thought they changed the name to SmackSound. So I was
the new logo.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking stupid. Like, it literally looks like it says SmackSound. Like, there's no.
I mean, in 4 matches, you're getting Apollo Crews and Vinci or whatever his name is. I mean, like, that's the best you got.
But it's a temporary format because when Raw goes to Netflix, SmackDown's going to 3 hours. That's what was announced this week. That was one of the things I had to talk about. So SmackDown will be going to 3 hours when it's the only show on USA.
I mean, I think you can make a great 2-hour show. I don't think it has to be 3 hours.
I'm okay with a 3-hour SmackDown because SmackDown's been the better product for a while now, and it's a Friday night. It's not like it's a Monday night. It's not competing with Monday Night Football. It's not we gotta wake up and get the kids up in the morning. Like it's Friday night. You know what I mean? Yep. Most wives and husbands hate each other, so they're not even doing anything together. So he's sitting there drinking a cold one, watching his wrestling, and she's upstairs saying she's internet shopping, but really she's looking at her ex-boyfriend from college's Facebook page and looking at his wife and thinking, you know what? That could have been me.
Joe, do we have a heart-to-heart here, bud? Something?
No, we're good.
Something going on, man? You okay?
Roll with the show,
bro. If you need us.
Roll with the show.
Oh yeah, SmackDown. Sorry, I've been up since like 4. So I believe it kicked off. I watch it, but I never remember it. Put his LA Knight put his title on the line against Andrade. It wasn't a bad match. Knight won, thankfully. I like him better, like more as time is going on.
Right.
And it was a solid match. You got two really good wrestlers,
Yeah.
that know the ring.
I love his character. I love his swag. It reminds me of that old Austin Rock, like machismo, but not like over the top muscle head, just like that anti-hero kind of wrestler. And when he was what the hell was he? Max Dupree?
Oh God, yes.
Like that was awful. And then when he came back with LA Knight, I was hook, line, sinker, like completely took.
Plus he tried twice to like jump up on the ropes and slipped like both times. So that was
he addressed that botch, and I forget what he said about it, but it was just like, like fucked up.
Yeah, well, you're trying to jump on fucking ropes. They're taped, like
right.
And it's not like he's wearing, cleats to
you gotta, the type of wrestling they do now, there's gonna be more botches, they're not just body slams and chokeholds. I mean, there's flips and a lot more acrobatics, so there's gonna be more botches.
100%.
Then they showed, which I don't know. Looking forward to the match, but this whole thing to me was a little stupid. The Roman Cody meeting.
Yes.
and fucking
Matt brought this up to me earlier. So you hated it?
It was just dumb. It was not needed. They could have just done it in a fucking venue in front of people. It probably would have been better.
Matt, what are you going to say?
I liked it. I thought, I mean, the start of it, if you watch it, Roman Reigns sounds like Thanos to start it. I mean, he sounds awesome. But there's so much you can do off it as far as a storyline, and I don't know if Triple H will capitalize on it, but they don't have to go the normal route that they're going to go with this. I would like to see something different come to Bad Blood, because everyone's expecting that, Cody Rhodes and Roman's going to win. But, I would love to see something like where Rhodes gets a chair to go hit, like Solo, and he hits Roman instead and causes, some animosity and, start like doing like, I don't know, a different type of storyline. And I don't know. There's just a lot of possibilities you can go with it instead of just, I want to see two faces. I guess it's going to be Survivor Series that they have their third match. But I'd like to see like a Rock Austin, like face, go at it.
And I do think we will get that. I do think we will get that eventually. I just think there's so much steam going into the storyline going on. And like I think this is good. I think you're going to see the return of the Usos helping Roman. Okay? I think that's what you're going to see in this. Because the bloodline's going to come down, the rest of the bloodline. So I think this is where you see the Usos come in. And then in between now and Survivor Series, they rekindle with Sami Zayn. And that's what we're going to get in Survivor Series. I've been saying this now for a month, Todd?
Yeah.
Yep. There's no way, and I don't care that it's super predictable, but they can't fuck it up. Vince is gone, so we don't need to, that's what they want, so I need to do something different mentality. Just give us what we want. We want the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline in a War Games match. Let's fucking go. I know that's all I want to see. I don't want any swerve. I don't want anything. And then I want the fucking new bloodline to win, or even if they lose, whatever. But that's when you have The Rock come down and say he's been behind the new bloodline the whole time because he's the tribal chief. He's the OTC. And then even if that leads whoever, because that gives you two big things to go off with Rumble. Because it could be you have the heavyweight title match, or whatever, and then you have the Rumble match. But there's something else going on. Maybe you have Rock versus Roman 1-on-1 there. Even though I'm pretty sure that the first one or some sort of another tag team set up that Mania spot, because Mania is Roman versus Rock. It is going to be the Samoan tribal war game fighter pit birthing rain dance match, whatever the fuck they're going to call it. But that's what Mania is going to be.
So I was thinking about this. I don't know. I was thinking about this today, a different type of storyline. If they were able to get where Roman beats Cody, right? Now Roman's got the title. But then at one of the big pay-per-views, they have a all bloodline, what's the gauntlet matches called? Where the two guys go, one guy gets pinned, another guy comes out. If they had a whole bloodline gauntlet match and Roman wins, maybe he beats Fatu at the end, and you think he wins, all of a sudden you hear the Rock's music come out. It's like Royal Rumble, and Roman's got nothing left, and Rock just, takes the belt right there. That'd be kind of cool. And then that sets up Mania. Just something kind of different, but you're not expecting the Rock to come out. Because it is kind of predictable. The Rock's going to come out and do something. It's going to be a backstab at some sort, but...
even if, say, Roman does beat Cody and win the belt, okay? Royal Rumble, number 30. The Rock's music hits. Rock wins Royal Rumble. Rock versus Roman, Mania.
You could do that. And that would be awesome. And it's
The Rock he'd probably be the oldest Royal Rumble winner ever.
Yeah.
All right, so what else do we have, Todd?
Oh, we had best match of the night. Blew the fucking doors off of nothing. Cruz and Vinci. It was just stupid again.
Yep, keep going. I've cared less about this whole entire thing.
Yep. And then it was Nia Jax and Tiffy Time versus Bayley and Naomi. And if Bayley and Naomi lost, one of them would have to leave SmackDown, but they won, so they didn't. So there was that. It was kind of, I don't know. It was a match. I just really want to see fucking what's her face Tiffany just turn on Nia and just smash her with that briefcase and take the belt.
It's gonna happen. I think she cashes in at Bad Blood or something. Like it's gonna be something.
I've been telling Joe this, Todd, for months now. The girls have better storylines than the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they have better storylines.
The only good storyline the guys have right now is the whole bloodline thing. Like even the Wyatt stuff is kind of like starting to get stale. Like something new needs to happen with that.
I think there is. I haven't looked into the most recent QR code.
But they've been like Garrett said last week. Like they've been taking a break from them. Like and it's cool. Like it's nice to have that.
Oh, I like that. Don't saturate it. That's how you ruin it.
Right.
You know, and they're actually like not saturating it because you're
you're
not forgetting about them, but it lets you focus on other things, and then when that comes up, you can focus on that instead of being like, oh, there's 80 things going on, and then the Wyatts. So then the last match was supposed to be Owens and DIY, but they got taken out backstage, so the Street Profits ended up doing it up with Mr. Owens. Let's see. Oh, brawl broke out, so it ended in a no contest. DIY limped down the ramp to help KO and the Profits, but they were quickly taken out. The American Nightmare brought out a chair with him to help clear out the bloodline. It says I don't remember, but it said Owens looked like he may attack Rhodes with the chair, but he chose not to. They shook hands, but KO looked upset.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Michael Cole made a funny joke about his watch telling him he had suffered a bad fall. I don't know. It's weird, not of context. So
it was a SmackDown.
That was SmackDown. That was SmackDown. I'm gonna go and see what that fucking
random question for you guys. When do you think they break Montez Ford out of the Street Profits and give him a singles run?
I'm gonna guess like after November. Like when their New Year starts or whatever.
Like after Mania?
Yeah. And before we go into Raw, I am going to play a little message from our sponsor. Are you ready, Todd? For Sexy Joe?
Have you ever found yourself in the need for some screen printing? What about some vinyl work? Well, we have the spot for you. Seasonal Sports, 215 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. Has all your needs. Go see Fred at Seasonal Sports.
Seasonal Sports.
Your T-shirts, your vinyl, screen printing, all that jazz. All right, let's get into last night's Raw. So we're on the road to Bad Blood here, guys. We got a little less than 2 weeks until Bad Blood. And we're in the Toyota Center in Ontario, California. Not to be confused with Canada there. Okay. So show started off, and I really, really dug this with Dom and my girl Liv cruising up in the low rider. All right. Like, Dom's been giving me such Eddie Guerrero vibes forever now, and I am digging it. And what I really, really appreciated about this intro is since they've put Liv and Dom together, Liv's kind of been taking a little bit of a back seat, and it was kind of nice for her to kind of like, all right, Dom, step back and say what she's got to say. And neither one of you guys are paying attention.
I mean,
You're both. I feel like I'm talking to my kids.
No, I'm listening to you.
And like Rhea was great. She's 100% cleared for Bad Blood, which I thought was kind of weird that they announced it this week. I feel like that would have been more of a next week announcement kind of thing.
It just means something will happen next week.
So she'll re-injure the leg.
Something along those lines, because you're right. It doesn't. Why would you not make her still injured this week and then next week, like you said, have it be the big hoo-ha? But yeah, so that's my thought is they'll probably she'll re-injure it, then they'll be like, oh, you can't compete. It'll be a backstage thing after that. Well, we don't know if you'll be medically cleared by Saturday, you know, that type of shit.
So like going into the next segment, like and I've talked about this before. I love when they do this shit, but like so you had Dom and you had Liv entering the area. And as they're entering the area, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed are like crashing through shit.
Yeah.
And it's just almost seeming like they've been fighting for a whole week now.
Yeah.
Like
I think that's what they were going for, which was beautiful. Like just to have that continuation.
It was funny. It was fun. It's nice to see them like using Braun for something. And then we had Sami Zayn versus Ludwig Kaiser. And Sami Zayn, he's still trying to get his World Heavyweight Champ shot. And it almost seemed like Gunther was going to give it to him, but then Gunther said he was going to fight Ludwig instead. Great fucking match. Like,
yeah,
Sammy is a workhorse. Kaiser is such a good technical wrestler. And, like, I feel like he's being almost misused by being with Gunther at this point because I feel like he's far more charismatic than Gunther, you know? And like
he needs to part off.
Get his own thing,
Yeah. And then we had a little backstage segment featuring Kofi and Xavier. Then American Alpha came up, and I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to re-solidify New Day or break them apart. I feel like Kofi's about ready to retire. I feel like Xavier needs a solo run. Like they're gonna next week they're celebrating the 7-8 years of the New Day. Then we had a Dragon Lee versus Carlito match. Like I'm over all this LWO stuff. It's just not fun. The match
not the same. Not the same.
It really wasn't that good. It's definitely overstayed. It's kind of welcome. I'm not. I don't know.
I think it's just people they don't know what to do with, but it kind of works out in the same way. Like it's weird.
And then we had a little segment where Karrion Kross is still trying to bring the monster out of the Miz, and I don't know. It just seems like another, like they're gonna start something with the Miz that never really pays off. And then we're supposed to have the Miz versus Bronson Reed, but that didn't happen because Braun Strowman was still fighting him. Bronson Reed comes out, and then Braun Strowman came out and started fighting him. And then I thought it was kind of funny that the commentator made a comment that Miz is nowhere to be found. And I feel like it's kind of going against what they've been trying to build with the Miz being like tough. Like, oh, now he's a coward again. He's back into the old Miz stuff. I don't know. And then we had a nice little promo from Drew. And, I mean, you can go look it up if you want, but he basically said he was going to kill CM Punk in Hell in a Cell. And I can't wait to see this match. I think it's going to be awesome. Then we had Damage Control versus Unholy Union, and I'll leave it at that. Then we had the New Day versus American Made. Xavier and Kofi were moments away from winning their match, and it didn't happen. And Chad Gable interjected himself in the match. Like it's great wrestling. It's just it's another like kind of like storyline, you know.
Yeah.
And then we got a cool little video package of the Baylor Damian Priest feud. I was kind of digging it. Then we had what was one of the most happiest, unexpected things that happened to me in more recent times. And we had what I thought was going to be another Jay come very close, but not beating Braun Breaker for his Intercontinental Championship. And I'm going to say this, the same thing I say every time we bring up Braun Breaker. He should be Braun Steiner or the Steiner or Steiner, whatever. This Braun Breaker thing is stupid. Nobody likes it. Stop it. Don't do it anymore. But this was the 7th time for main event Jey Uso, who finally, can we all just give my man his yeet? Yeet! Yeet! My man Jey Uso has a solo belt. He has IC title. And it was a hell of a match. And it showcased, like, I have to give Mr. Steiner his flowers because he has learned how to tell a story with a match. His cockiness, his ego, his, nobody can beat me, cost him the belt. It cost him the belt last night. And main event is in the building.
So do you think it's actually going to be like a title run, or do you think it's just going to be like, oh, hey, guess what? Next fucking pay-per-view, you're defending it and you lost it. Like, you know, like that type of shit, because we've seen them do it before to people who truly deserve longer title runs.
I think he deserves a title run. And I mean, Joe could tell you this. Me and Joe went to, we were lucky enough to go to SummerSlam in, you know, when he fought Roman. And the crowd was into him, man. Like,
oh yeah,
he's got to be able to sell merchandise.
You had 70,000 people going like this, and like,
and then he delivered an awesome match in the main event. Like,
right.
So how do you not give him a run, you know, and see what he could do? And to Braun Breaker's credit, you know, he was able to lose a match and doesn't do anything to his career. Like, he was, you know, that's a testament to him.
And that's the thing, like, at the stage of his career, he's a pup, man. Like,
he's
got
100%.
Like, God willing, he has another decade and a half.
Easily.
You know, and our man Jay's getting up there in age. I think he's probably around mine and Matt's age, I'm assuming. If not,
and I think Intercontinental for him is that's a great spot for him.
Yeah.
They kind of need someone like that there.
Well, it's perfect because it's something that he can kind of go on to till Roman gets it again. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, he's the same. The Usos are same age as me because they were born in 85.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But to me, he's kind of like the Miz. You know, he can kind of be that veteran Intercontinental presence.
But like Jay deserves to have a title run at some point. All right, so I some stories throughout the week that caught my eye.
I
First,
have one for you.
Okay.
When you're
The
done.
first one I had is people are debating what this little symbol that showed up. Can we see it? There we go. They're Nordic runes. They spell out war. I think they're slightly repackaging the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then something that I found very, very interesting, that is Zilla Fatu was rumored to be coming to WWE, but over the weekend, that kind of changed, and we started getting reports, nothing's been official yet, that he is going to be signing with AEW. For those of you who don't know who Zilla Fatu is, he is a 4th-generation wrestler, and he's the son of who, guys?
Umaga.
So I looked up, see a little bit about him, and he seems very Jacob Fatu-esque to me, but younger. Because
like
Fatu,
6'8"?
I'll give you his stats here in a second, but I'm going to give you his his personal little paragraph of a bio. Fatu is a fourth-generation professional wrestler and a member of the NOI family. He's the son of the late Edward Smith Fatu, who competed under the ring name Umaga in WWE. At the age of 15, Fatu was charged with aggravated robbery and spent 6 years in the Texas State Penitentiary before being released in March 2022. Okay, so, and then he went to professional wrestling and was trained by Booker T. And Matthew, you were looking for his stats for Zilla?
I remember hearing he was like 6'8" or something like that. He was just a big dude.
No, that's Jacob Fatu's brother. Zilla is 6'1", 245, and he is the young age of 25 years old.
Damn.
So he is reportedly going to be signing with AEW. So that is because remember how Garrett was listing off all the Bloodline members who he thought were coming to join and everything. That is one less for us to have to look out for in that. And let's see what else I got. Do I have any other? I think there might be one.
I'm telling you, what I said in the chat, they start a Bloodline, and the Bloodline WWE has to fight that Bloodline. It just becomes whatever, and then Triple H just buys them. It's just the best way to go with the whole thing.
So, everybody remembers Jonathan Coachman. He was on Rene Dupre's podcast this past week, and he revealed the biggest rule about being on Vince McMahon's plane. So I see this title of this article. Totally misleading. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But Coachman said, when I flew on his plane, there were rules. And the biggest rule was unless he slept, you're not allowed to sleep because he wanted that energy in the plane. So unless Vince was sleeping, you could not. And then over the weekend, Mr. Jeff Hardy wrestled, and he paid a tribute to his late friend, Bray Wyatt. Look at that face paint, Maddie.
That's awesome.
So we had that. And then this is another interesting thing, and we can speculate all we want. But this is also from the Coachman appearance on Renee's thing. But this is what he's quoted saying. He goes, I don't know how Shane feels about it, but I'm saying that I've always felt that. And a lot of people backstage, I mean, everybody talked about it because it was a thing. This is talking about Triple H and Stephanie's marriage together. They were in a storyline, then it turned into a real-life love affair, and they're still together to this day, so good for them. But I think that really segregated the McMahon family because Vince had to deal with it because Triple H was one of the biggest stars he had at the time. And ultimately, you know, you've seen it play out over the last 20 years. Shane has previously said the following about Triple H and Stephanie's marriage during on Mick Foley's podcast. At first, I was, as long as you're going to be happy, that's all I really care about. You know, it was more like old school back then, especially the boss's daughter. You don't ever date a talent at that point because there was separation. So I guess Shane is saying that it segregated Triple H from the wrestlers. So what story did you have, Todd?
It's funny because it's actually about Triple H.
Go ahead.
As weird as it is. And it comes from, hold on.
Never heard of hold on.
Cottonmouth is a bitch. It comes from very, very good news source. I want to preface that. Like, this is, you know, a better news source than like the internet or Fox News. Because this comes from the man himself who will feed you more, Mr. Ryback.
Oh, me and Matt met Ryback at one of the ICW shows.
Yeah.
Great
so he claims that Triple H may have allegedly had a secret relationship with Caitlyn. You remember Caitlyn, the wrestler? She had like black and white hair back in the fucking, I don't even remember what it was. So this is what he said, I think, I don't know, maybe a podcast that he does or some shit. He's like, I have it on close accord from people that came and told me with things that were directly involved with her, that something went down between her and Hunter. Then she leaves the company almost immediately after. Do you think that's a coincidence? People cheat on their spouses. I'm not. Whatever people do in their lives is their business, right? So that was Ryback's whatever. So he
So
claimed.
you're saying, wow, that is saucy.
So that's fine.
We got anything else, gentlemen?
I was looking that up because who was the member of the Bloodline you said to sign with AEW, or they thought was going to sign with the Bloodline?
Zilla.
Okay, so there's a wrestler Hakulu, who is I guess he was adopted into the Haku family, and he's the one who's 6'8", but they said he's speculated to maybe join the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And he wrestles in New Japan at this point.
And dude, bring them all, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Bring them all.
Bring that whole family over, dude. Like it's been gold.
Yeah, 100%.
Praise the High Chief. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, man, I am pretty high.
All right, Matt. I appreciate you filling in for
Garrett,
man. And
Thanks
I will
for
let
joining.
you.
Anytime,
I'll let
boys.
you know if we do need you to fill in the future, bud.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So remember, Mondays, the Todd and Joe Morning Show. We're playing around with a little bit new format. We're having a little fun. Take your pants off, relax, enjoy your cup of coffee. Tuesdays, you got this, and throughout the week, we're gonna try to send more stuff. So, yeah.
Vague.